Hey there! Guess what we're gonna brew today? We're gonna brew a coffee vanilla stout. But first, the intro! Hiya homebrewers, I'm JabeerIni and today I'm gonna show you how I'll brew a coffee vanilla stout. And as you can see here, I've got everything prepared and ready to start brewing. But before, I've got two things for you. I'll tell you while I drink. Do you remember this one? This is the pumpkin ale I brewed some weeks ago. And I remember I tried it before it was due. It had less than 3 weeks, or just 3 weeks fermenting. It wasn't ready by then. But I gave this to some friends and they told me it was good. So this is actually the second time I'm gonna try it and see if it has improved. Certainly carbonation has improved a little bit. Aroma, it's the same as I remember it. Let's try it. Cheers! Well, yeah, now it tastes strangely more like pumpkin. There's a sweet flavor that wasn't there before. I remember I tasted something sweet, but I associated it more with plantain than pumpkin, and now this is becoming more pumpkin-y. So if you brew a pumpkin ale, following my recipe, we'll add some pumpkin in secondary fermentation and wait at least a month until you try it. So I had two things for you, as I was saying. Number one is that we're gonna try a new format for the presentation of the recipe. I'm trying to save some time and not bore you with a very detailed recipe, because at the end of the day, it's down there in the description of this video. So I've got everything there. I'm gonna try and simplify it, and I'm not gonna be as detailed as I used to be. But let me know if you prefer the detailed version of my videos. I'll just do it. And the second thing is the experimental part of this video. I am gonna try something new with regards to the mash. I'm trying to improve every single phase of my brewing career, my brewing techniques. So I've decided to start with the mash. I read about the decoction method or technique in the mash, but that's more associated with the traditional brewing methods and not with brew in a bag. But there is something very close to the decoction method, which is the step mash. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna mash at different temperatures. And why did I come up with that idea? Because I've noticed that I've tried different mash temperatures and I've gotten different results. What I didn't know is that different temperatures produce different effects on the mash. It's not only the starches becoming sugars. There's more to it, and I just realized now. Probably for you it's going to be something like, duh, you knew it, but to me it's something new. I just read it this week, and well, that's what I'm going to experiment with today. We're going to do a 4-step mash today. And with that being said, and without further ado, let's get brewing! Let's take a look at the ingredients we'll be using. Alright, so first, our water. Details are in the recipe below. 2-row pale malt, some rolled oats, some molasses, and the specialty grains. These are crystal, chocolate, and black barley. And you might be wondering, where's the coffee? Where's the vanilla? Well, vanilla extract is here and coffee is here, but we're not going to use it right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some vanilla extract and some coffee before bottling. So you won't see it today, but I'll tell you the amounts in the description below. So in case you want to brew it, please make sure to read the description. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pour the whole contents of this vessel, which is 8 liters of water. And we're gonna get this to 45 degrees. Not 60, not 65, not 70 as we have done. Only 45 degrees for the acid rest. I'll be back once we have that temperature. Cheers! Alright, so now our water is at 45 degrees and it's time to start the mash. I'll just leave it there for 15 minutes, after which we're gonna increase the temperature. But I'll tell you more once the step is done. Cheers! Alright, so 15 minutes have passed, and now this first step, the acid rest, is over. So it's time to increase the temperature to 55 degrees for the protein rest. And as you can see, the color is not too stouty, it's not too dark. But I guess it comes with the temperature. We're gonna mash these grains for 20 minutes during the protein rest. And you might be wondering, what's the acid rest and what's the protein rest and what are all those steps? Well, all those steps are ways to increase the malty flavor and some other characters such as the body and the head retention and the protein and the structure of the malt in our beer. I won't enter into the details of each of the steps because basically this video would last like 4 hours or something. But if you're interested in more information or in any details of each of the steps or the overall process, please contact me in my Facebook group, which is also in the description below. So I'll be back after 20 minutes for the third step. Cheers! Alright, 20 minutes have passed. Look at that color. Now it has changed. It has gone darker. So now it's time to increase the temperature to 66 degrees. And we will keep that temperature for 40 minutes. This step is called the starch conversion. So previously, all what we have done is something related to the acid and the pH of the water. After that, we did the protein step, which is intended to increase the protein presence in the wort and then in the beer. For head retention, amongst other reasons. And now the starch conversion for 40 minutes. And actually, this is where most of the fermentables are going to appear or convert from starches in our wort. And you might be wondering, why are you making beer, which is supposed to be something easy and fun, so complex? Well, that's my nature. I like to make things complicated in every single aspect of my life. Hopefully, complex things and a huge effort, well, they lead to some great gratification. And I hope this is the case with this beer. So I'll be back in 40 minutes for the last step. Cheers! Alright, 40 minutes have passed and our wort is getting darker and darker. So it's time for our last step, and it's only 5 minutes at 77 degrees. So far, everything looking really good. As you can see here, got my sparge water ready because it's only gonna be 5 minutes. I'll be back. Cheers! Alright, and finally the mash is over. So it's time to start the sparge. And also to turn this to maximum power to get the rolling boil that we need for the only hop addition. And I haven't mentioned, but it's 8 grams of Columbus. It's only 8 grams because this hop variety is very powerful in alpha acids. It's 15%. So it's more than enough for the bittering purposes that we need in this beer. We don't need any hop aroma or flavor. It's all in the specialty grains hands. So I'll sparge this as usual, very patiently, and I'll be back for the hop addition. Cheers! Alright, and as you can see there's the rolling boil that we need for the sole hop addition. And in they go. And it looks creamy already. I'm wondering if that's a good sign that it worked. All the efforts during the mash.
But hey, it doesn't matter. It was a great effort during the mash, and now we only have to wait 60 minutes with this boil without paying attention to anything, because there won't be any more hop additions. Only a quarter of a tablet of product luck, 15 minutes before the end of the boil, and the molasses addition. Oh God, look how creamy that is. I may take this as a proof that it pays to be patient, and it pays to run the extra mile for your stout. Look at that. I'll be back. Cheers. 15 minutes before the end of the boil, time to add our molasses. This was pretty easy. There it is, fairly clean. And the quarter of a tablet of product luck, and in it goes. And finally, timer's done. Our brew night is done. So I'll cool this down and I'll be back for the yeast pouring and to show you the usual original gravity picture. Alright, and there you have it. It's already cooled down and in the fermenter. And here is a picture of the gravity reading. As you can see, it's 1053, which is good. I'm aiming to get a solid 5% ABV in this one. I don't care if I get a 4.8, 4.9. I wouldn't like to go below 4.8, but we'll need to see how the yeast behaves. Speaking of which, it's time to pour the yeast. And notice I'm saying pour and not pitch, because I'm using this. This, as you probably remember, is the yeast I harvested from the golden ale. So I just added some of the wort to this to get it back into suspension, and I got rid of the excess liquid, and now it's ready to be poured. And hopefully this beautiful M36 will do a wonderful job and will ferment this wort to create a beautiful stout, to which I will add some coffee and vanilla extract before bottling. And that's it for this week. It's been a long night, a long mashing and brewing night, but I think it will be worth it. Next week I'll be taste testing the golden ale we brewed some weeks ago. I'm really looking forward to that one. It's gonna be probably 24-25 days bottle conditioning next week, so it's gonna be perfect to be taste tested. If you like what you see, like, and don't forget to subscribe. And as usual, thanks for watching. Cheers and beers!
Mm-hmm.